team ready to play. You can rest assured of that.
First and 5 for the Leopards at their 25. James, the quarterback, to Williams, the running back, running right. 32 is Williams. Gains about 3 yards. Melvin Jones, number 37, on the tackle. Leonis Williams, this year, is the leading rusher, almost 200 yards. And he has done a fantastic job. He has a brother on this team. It's going to be second down and about 3.
Leflore lines up in a 4-4 defense, and of course, Ben Harris has always employed a pro set offense, runs eye, and also split back sometimes. Now he's going to a double wide formation, so you're not going to see anything today for Ben.
They got 3 wideouts in the single setback. Actually, they have 4 wideouts, 2 left, 2 right, and a single setback. Hand off to the fullback, and that Sherman Lee goes nowhere. Trying to go up the middle, maybe a yard. It's going to be third down and less than 2. Paul Henderson, who also plays on the offensive line for Leflore, he's a 250-pound senior, made the tackle of Sherman Lee. Lee this year has rushed for 147 yards, and James, the quarterback, completing 19 out of 34 for 329. Those are some of your stats.
Well, and Lee, you do a great job getting those stats to us. They just gave the ball to the single back that time, and it just wasn't able to pick up enough for a first down. Third down and 1.5.
All right, again, Blount spreads it out. They got 2 wideouts left, 2 to the right, and a single setback. Sherman Lee on third and less than 2. Quarterback James will keep it. He'll get the first. He's got a lot more. Dives forward to the 41. Aaron James wearing number 3 on the first down run. Looked like he called his own number right from the start, Rick.
Well, he did call his own number, and that was a good call by Ben Harrison, the offensive staff of the Blount Leopards. He dropped back like he was going to throw a little short dump pass to one of the receivers and went straight up the middle. Good call, first down for Blount.
He was stopped by number 13, Ahmad Eaton, senior defensive back. So the Blount Leopards, they are ranked number 1 in 5A. They are undefeated. They are 3-0. Now the conventional I formation. Tight end lines up. I don't even see a tight end. Now they'll run up the middle, and Williams with the ball, fighting his way up to about the 43-yard line, maybe the 44. Leonis Williams, a 5'11 sophomore, working off the right side of the line that time. And you're right, I couldn't find a tight end either.
Well, they weren't in. They were in what we call a Tennessee set. What they had was they had twins to the right side over here on the near sideline, and they had a single receiver out on the far side over there with the traditional 2 backs in the backfield.
They take Williams out, 32 leaving the lineup now, and they'll have the 1 setback. That is Sherman Lee. Twins left, twins right. So 4 wideouts in there and 1 running back. On 2nd and 8, they'll flood the secondary. James back to pass play action. He has time. Now he's under pressure. He's backing away from the pocket. He still has time. He'll throw, and he'll miss his target at the 47-yard line of Blount. Having a chance to come up with that ball was DeAndre Green as he tiptoed along the sideline. He couldn't hang on to it, number 86.
Well, I tell you, Aaron James showed a whole lot of mobility right there. You got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line for Blount that time. He had all the time in the world to throw the football.
Aaron James saw some action as a starter in 94. They say that Tyrone James has the stronger arm. He's the backup quarterback, and they, I guess, came into the season alternating. They weren't really sure who would start. Aaron right now has started a couple of games.
This is a new set, Lee. They're in a strong formation over here.
They still have 4 wideouts, 2 left, 2 right, back to pass on 3rd and 8. The throw over the middle. That's caught. First down, 45-yard line. Great reception by James Jones, a 5'9 junior, right over the middle. And that's a first down for the Leopards.
Well, that was a breakdown in the secondary for the Leflore Rattlers right there. What that amounted to was a trips formation over here to the short side of the field on the Leflore sideline. They put the young man right like he would be in a slot, and he simply ran just a straight-up pattern, and he was wide open.
The center is Jonathan Brown, one of the few 3-year starters on the Blount team. Most of their starters from last year's team that went to the championship were on defense. I think they returned about 7. Crowd still filing in. Timeout taken by Blount. They will burn their first timeout. With 8:26 remaining, first quarter, there is no score. This is the Comcast Cable Port City 6 high school football game of the week, brought to you by Gary Finch Outdoors. We're back in 30. There is no score. Blount starting this drive on its own 20 and using their passing attack has moved down to the Rattler 45-yard line.
Blount's using the whole field, Lee, and they're standing this Tennessee set. This time when they have two backs, it's a Tennessee set, and the other time it's double wides.
James Jones, number 28, the tailback behind Lee, and the play action back to pass. James throwing long, deep down the left sideline, got his receiver, caught, touchdown, or no, yeah, he got in for the touchdown. It was Marlon Reed. He got it at the end zone, right on the goal line, and then went into the end zone. I wasn't sure if his knee touched. The official came over and said touchdown. What a pass. 45-yard aerial. Aaron James, most of it in the air, caught by Marlon Reed right at the goal line, 6 points Blount.
That's a fabulous pass by Aaron James. The receiver just did a straight-up route, and Aaron James laid it out there, and the receiver ran right under it, caught it, 6 points Blount. Early, easy touchdown for the Blount Leopards.
Antoine Hill is the place kicker. He's late getting on the field. 8:17, the time of that touchdown here in the first quarter. Antoine Hill will be doing the place kicking. Out of the hold of Aaron James, ball down. The kick is low, and it did make it. No good. So with 8:17 to go here in the first, after a 45-yard touchdown aerial from Aaron James to Marlon Reed, Blount 6, Leflore nothing in the Heritage Classic. The Comcast Cable High School Football Game of the Week continues in 30 seconds. Well, the Blount cheerleaders have a lot to cheer about now, and the band over there on the far sideline. Marlon Reed with his 10th catch, and it was a big one.
Well, Marlon Reed, made an outstanding catch, Lee. It was thrown right over his shoulder, just like you draw it up on the drawing board. Delivered there by Aaron James. Big touchdown for Blount. Momentum's in their favor right off the bat.
Damon Bryson, number 54, kicks off for Blount. It's a short kick. Ricky Wright will move up, but it's taken by a back in front of him at the 20, 25, 30, and a big run up to the 35 to the 37-yard line. Jonathan Fritz on the tackle. And believe you me, I would like to tell you who number 37 is, but I don't have him on the roster. And it's a little early in the game for that.
Lee, you didn't do your homework. That's not like you.
I needed that, Rick. Thanks. Here come the Rattlers on offense.
Well, I think you're going to see a few new wrinkles from Rayford Parker against his old coach, his former player of his.
Bo Eller starts at quarterback, number 16, 6'1 senior. He and Darnell Kennedy will alternate. Single setback. And they send the back in motion. That is James Evans, and they'll run the quarterback Eller to the left side. He's up to the 40, and he is driven down at the 41-yard line. Blount's defense, and they are so quick. Larry Casher, maybe a college prospect. He is a good one. 5'11 senior on the tackle, but not before Bo Eller gains about 6 yards. And Bo, he had a dad that once played football at the Mobile Training School. Tell you what, this kid's a gutty kid. He's coming off a fractured leg.
Well, that's impressive to come and play like that. Now, last play, Leflore was in 2 tight ends. This time, they're in a no-back set with 5 wide receivers.
2nd and 5 on the no-back set from his own 41. Eller takes, dropping back. The rush is on, rolling right. He'll throw. It's intercepted and then not intercepted as it was knocked down by Darrell Williams. He had it and lost it, and the flag went down.
Well, I tell you, Leflore had a receiver wide open in center field, right about where the helmet is in the middle of the field, and the quarterback just wasn't able to see him. Darnell Kennedy just happened to miss him that time. We got a flag on the play, an eligible receiver downfield.
That was a wide open formation we saw from Leflore on 2nd and 5. Now it's up to Blount after the incomplete pass, and with Leflore walking back, it looks like Blount will take the penalty. All right, Warren Eller is the quarterback. He and Kennedy will alternate. This is his 2nd straight start. You got Thomas Smith, normally a running back, number 27. Robert McCune, who had 84 yards rushing against Mary G. Montgomery last week, wears number 23. Parisi Bendoff, number 24, is the tight end. Your wideouts, Omar Hamilton, 26. He's the best of them. James Evans, number 21. Giamani Warren wears 12. Billy Taylor, number 82.
Well, we got 2nd and 10, Lee, and we've seen 2 different formations from Leflore. They're coming back out in 5 wides again.
2nd down. Ball comes right back to the 36 where they started this offensive series. Back to pass. Kennedy now in the lineup wearing number 10 throws, and it's almost intercepted by Casher. He stepped in front of Billy Taylor, but Larry Casher, a 3-year starter in the defensive backfield, came up and almost swiped it.
You know, I like to see this. If you're just a common watcher of the game, you would think that Blount is going to out-talent Leflore. Well, Rayford Parker's coming out and spreading the field out and saying, we're going to make you cover the whole field against us. This is new.
No setback again, no running back. 3 wide outs to the right, 2 to the left for Leflore in their wide open offense. Darnell Kennedy is replaced by Eiler, who runs to the 40, 45, 48-yard line. Casher is there and a bunch of others for the Leopards, including Jared Ellis, playing in his first year. And that is a first down. It looks like it is.
Well, what that does, Lee, that's a quarterback draw, and there's only one linebacker when they have those 5 receivers out. And when he does that, the middle of the field is open for any type running play because the linebacker's not keying on anybody except the quarterback, and the quarterback just simply outmaneuvered the linebacker that time.
Good run by Bo Eller. Now Darnell Kennedy, the 6-foot senior, takes over. He's one of the top passers in the area. Handoff on a delay and caught and dropped for a loss. That's Robert McCune. Marco McNeil, a 6'1 sophomore, stopped him back at the 44-yard line. We've got about 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 6-0 Blount. McCune, their leading rusher, couldn't get started that time.
No, Marco McNeil was back there about the time the ball got there, and Marco told him, said, "You're not going to come my way, buddy."
Teams are only averaging 7 points a game against Blount Leopards.
Well, that's because they got so much speed, Lee. You watch these young men run. They got so much speed.
And Leflore this year averaging 11 points, but giving up 23 a game. On 2nd down and 15, Eller will throw, incomplete. And the ball intended for James Evans over on the right side of the field near midfield was incomplete. You don't see this too often where a coach rotates quarterbacks every other down like he's doing now.
No, and I'm not a proponent of that at all either. I really think you need to get a quarterback and try to make a decision on who the best one is. And most people say, Lee, if you're alternating quarterbacks, you got 2, and neither one of them are very good.
Well, the coaches tell you that Eller is the better runner and Kennedy a better thrower. Timeout now, and Rayford Parker coming on the field to talk to his team. 6:10 remaining, first quarter, 6-0 Blount. The Comcast Cable high school football game of the week continues in 30 seconds. The Leflore cheerleaders trying to get something started here with the Rattler fans near capacity on their side. When Rick and I broadcast Leflore and Williamson, Kennedy, I believe, went the distance, and Eller may have been hurt in that game. As I told you, he's coming back off a fracture. Kennedy stays in at quarterback. Darnell Kennedy completed 29 out of 66 for 377 yards this season. Back to pass, rushes on, throws over the middle, incomplete, knocked down, flagged down also. Boy, the Leopards had 3 defensive backs around the receiver that time. I saw Casher in there, and also Terrence Johnson.
Well, we got Holden here. They caught one of the big tackles for Leflore, Holden, and I would imagine that Blount would refuse the penalty and bring up a 4th down.
And if that is the case, James Evans, who averages 35 yards a kick, will actually stay in. 3rd down and about 15. 6-0 Leopards.
Isn't this 4th down? Yeah, it's 4th down.
With 6:06 remaining, and Evans at the 30-yard line. Casher drops back with Kennard Pugh. This will be the 2nd time. Oh, it's a poor snap, but Evans gets it away. It took a short hop to him. Hits at the 30, picked up by Casher. He's at the 30. He's at the 35 and drags a tackler up near the 37-yard line. So Casher with a daring return. Marcus Palmer on the tackle. He let that ball bounce and then picked it up on the run. And there's the Blount sideline. They've got the 6-0 lead. They're ranked number 1 in 5A.
You know, one of the things that you'll want to watch about that Blount sideline is the organization over there. There's coaches that are coaching when they're off the field, and those players are organized and watching what's going on when they're on the sideline.
Ran into a good friend, now a Blount coach, Marty McDowell, who's been around the circuit in Mobile. And looks like we had some movement. It may have been the Rattlers who jumped again. So a 5-yard penalty. Marty McDowell, of course, kind of a football legend in these parts. At Murphy High, went to Mississippi State, then the Minnesota Vikings, and he's been a high school coach at Shaw and Baker, and he's glad to be at Blount, let me tell you.
Well, he sure is. I had a chance to talk to both Marty and Ben before the game, and I'm going to tell you, Lee, you're talking about two fine individuals that you just won't find two better people than Ben Harris and Marty McDowell in our profession.
Well, a gift of 5 yards to Blount on that 5-yard penalty of offsides against Leflore. 1st and 5. It's a little windy here today, a little overcast. Here's the run up the middle, and there's Jones deking and juking his way up to about the 47-yard line. Some good footwork before Jeremy Cunningham, a sophomore, made the tackle. And with the run by Jones, he is very close to a first down with 5:37 remaining here in the opening quarter.
We just got a shot there of the men that really do the work up front for the Blount Leopards, that offensive line. And we'll get a chance to mention those guys: Jonathan Brown, Aaron Taylor, Leo McCall, Mike Thomas, and Carlos Bonner. Those are the guys that make the holes for Aaron James and Sherman Lee and Antoine Lott and Leon Williams and James Jones. And those guys, they work hard and they do the job for the Blount Leopards.
Lee Portis signals first down. Andre Kidd, wearing 75, checks into the Leflore defensive alignment. And in the past, it's been the unsung men in the trenches who have opened up the holes so that Sherman Williams could run all the way to the Dallas Cowboys.
That's pretty good. I like that one, Lee. That is good. And Sherman played a lot the other night.
Yes, he did, and looked good. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Blount at their own 47. They scored the first time they had it. Aaron James, the quarterback, with an arm. He throws, incomplete. That time he misfired, trying to hit DeAndre Green up around the 44-yard line. Green, wearing number 86, had to stretch for that one. Aaron James just a little off target that time.
Well, Corey Cobley was in there on him. That forced him to throw the ball pretty quickly that time.
Corey Colley, one of their top tacklers. In fact, he was last week against Mary G. Montgomery. And that was a big win because Rayford Parker now thinks with that win, they're in the driver's seat to go in to the playoffs, maybe as the runner-up. Everybody kind of assumes Viger will be the champ of 6A Area 2, but with the win over Mary G., all Leflore has to do is beat Satsuma. 2nd down and 10 for Aaron James and company. A man in motion is Jones. They'll try to get rid of it, but instead the quarterback has to fall on it. He tried to pitch, couldn't get it away. It came loose. He fell on it. Tremaine Dowell was right there to fall on top of the quarterback. Almost a giveaway by Blount.
Well, we see a little bit of triple option right there, Lee. We faked the dive, had a motion man come in motion, came deep motion, and Aaron Thomas stuck it in the fullback's belly, pulled it out, and when he pulled it out, there was Tremaine Dowell right there to tackle him and force a fumble.
If you'll remember back to last year, Rick, and I don't have to remind you because you got the best memory up in this booth, but Blount set a state record for takeaways. They were just awesome on defense.
Well, and they work on that. They work on stripping the ball, and that's something a well-coached team will do, and the defensive unit does that at Blount.
But Blount just lost 8 yards. Now as the quarterback, Aaron James, starts to go back to pass, the flag goes down again.
It's delay a game. You won't see that very often from a Ben Harris coach team.
Really no excuse for it today because today they've got the shot clock, I say shot clock, the quarterback clock, the game clock in operation so that you can tell that you have the 25 seconds to get that ball away, and it's running at, of course, I'll tell you what, it is a far distance. You better have some good eyes to see it. But they do have it running, so the quarterback may be able to pick it up. It's a pretty good distance away from the field, though. It's way behind the goalpost. The 25 seconds to get that ball in play. 3rd down and 23. James back. You know he can pick it up. He throws over the middle. Caught Marlon Reed midfield. 45 to the left sideline. 40. He's got the first down, and he goes out of bounds at the 35. Jeremy Cunningham. I told you that Blount offense is geared to get those big plays.
Well, that was a very well thrown ball that time, and Marlon Reed was right in the middle of the field. And Aaron Thomas threw it, hit him right there in the numbers, and he picked up, what did he have, 20 yards, 22, 23 yards for a first down.
Yeah, and he had the 45 yards on the touchdown, and Marlon Reed may be a candidate for MVP before all is said and done.
Well, if we picked it right now, it'd be between him and the quarterback. It'd definitely be a tough heat to pick.
37-yard line, the Rattler 37. Trips to the right for the Blount Leopards, and a single wide out to the left, and Aaron James will call his own number. 35 breaks the tackle. 30. And he is to the 30, make it 25. Cunningham again on the tackle, and first down, Blount.
Well, you're in trouble when your secondary is having to make all the tackles, and right now that's what it looks like. Jeremy Cunningham is the leading tackler in the ball game on both sides. He's probably got 5 or 6 tackles already. Aaron Thomas that time just on a straight quarterback draw, drops back 5 yards, makes everybody get in their drops. He takes the ball right up the middle.
Ben Harris sending in Larry Casher with the play. Larry Casher, a mainstay on defense. We don't get to see him on offense that much. And the Leflore players hoping for their defense to rise to the occasion. 6-0 Blount. Wideouts, 3 to the right. James back to pass, sets up screen to the right. Casher, 30, 25, runs into a tackler at the 22. He ran into Jake Wilson, a 6-foot sophomore, and down he goes after just a couple of yards that time. It's going to be second down and about 8 yards.
Well, anytime you see him come into the game, I would assume that they're going to try to get the football to Cashiers. As he'll go out now, and when he comes into the game, they're going to try to get him the football.
Melvin Jones checking into the lineup for Leflore. Blount, second down 8 at the Rattler 23. Aaron James at quarterback, looking over the defense right now. Single setback is Sherman Lee. Lee will not get it. It will be the quarterback keeper, 20. James outside 50 with a great move. 10 down the far sideline. That is a touchdown, but a flag is thrown.
Good call. There was a clip right there, and it was an excellent call by the official. He hit the man in the back. He didn't have to hit him, really. He would have scored a touchdown. Probably Aaron James' speed would have outran that play.
Fancy footwork by Aaron James, bringing back memories of Kelvin Robinson, and Damian Craig looked at the way he moved to the outside, just left a defender, nailed to the turf, but the clip will bring it back, and so Leflore gets a big break.
Well, that is a big break, but that's just a mistake that you make, and youngsters are going to make mistakes, and I'm sure when Coach Harris uses the video that they'll go over that, and that won't happen again.
2:47 remaining. Here in the first quarter, 6-0 Blount.
As the officials are discussing it with Leflore, there's really not much of an option. You either take the touchdown or you take the penalty.
Well, I'll tell you this, if they took the play, I don't think whoever had the choice would be calling it anymore this year. To me, it's so simple. What are you going to do? I mean, you got to take the penalty.
Well, and I think the officials in their meeting discuss this, and they have to go over all the options with them, and sometimes they may make a mistake and go for the play. Oh, no. Okay, there was a dual penalty, Lee. There was a holding from the line of scrimmage, and there was a clip from down here, and what it is, it will penalize them more from the line of scrimmage than it would from the point of the foul.
And a timeout taken by Leflore. So they use up, I believe, their second timeout. 2:47 remaining in the first quarter, 6-0 Blount. Comcast Cable, high school football game of the week, will return in 30 seconds. It's racked up on a beautiful pass by Aaron James to Marlon Reed, right to the goal line, and he fell in for the touchdown. The extra point was missed. Blount leading 6-0. High-scoring team, but again, their defense oftentimes gets overlooked. But we said last year they set a state record for takeaways.
Well, I think in coaching circles, and most people who follow this game know that when you play a Blount or a Williamson or a Leflore, their defensive team speed is so outstanding, it's almost impossible to try to turn the corner on them, and that is a big asset when you're trying to play defense.
Aaron James, the quarterback. Ben Harris told me he went up to the Mississippi State quarterback camp and did extremely well. Second down and 17. Back to pass, Aaron James. He'll break out of the pocket to the right. Aaron James will tuck the ball in and go out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. And it's not surprising to see Aaron James on the track because he probably helps with the track program, I would imagine. Maybe he doesn't, but a lot of these Blount players do run track, and they were telling me a number of the youngsters on this team were members of the freshman track team that won the state championship.
Well, they're good athletes, and when you're a good athlete, you can play a lot of different sports, and track is something that really is a great off-season program for your football players.
3rd and 15, he gained 2. It's at the Rattler 31.
Here's a new setter in the gun. They got trips over here, and
Out of the gun, they loaded up. Here is Aaron James back to pass. Lost one down the sideline. Man open. Touchdown, Mike Miller. Number 84. Mike Miller wide open. Actually, he had his choice. There were two wideouts in that same area, Marlon Reed and Mike Miller. He could have thrown to either one, and it's a touchdown.
Well, Leflore is really almost trying to play bump and run with these receivers, and it's just almost impossible to try to run backwards and keep up with receivers as they're running forward down the field when their speed is so outstanding for Blount. And here Blount will line up and go for two, I'm sure, with a 12-point lead.
12-0 Leopards looking for their fourth straight win.
You know, Lee, Leflore's going to have to start thinking about trying to hold on to the ball and maintain ball possession. And if they don't, this ball game will get out of hand real quick.
Kennard Pugh is a lone setback. James back to pass, looking for two. He'll run. He's going to the goal line, and he goes in for the 2 points. Aaron James picking up where he left off against Shaw High School last Saturday. Remember, we had the 4 touchdown passes in the first half, and Blount now leads it 14-0. The Comcast Cable High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Gary Finch Outdoors, will return in 30 seconds. 2:34 remaining in the first quarter. It's been all Blount. Twice they've had it, twice they've scored. Here's the kickoff. And it goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Damon Bryson booting it out of bounds. So it's Leflore's option. Do you want it at the 35 or do you want to redo?
I want it at 35 every time.
Lee Portis is the referee. Working the game with him, Lucius Jackson, the umpire, Mike Rembrandt, the back judge, Ron Coleman, the field judge, Leon Lang, the head linesman, Patrick Martin is running the clock, around the 25-second clock by Mr. Thrash. It's at the 35, Leflore's 35. Let's see who's in there at quarterback. It's Bo Eller, who started the game. He was a wide receiver. Coming up, also a JV quarterback, no running back, so he'll run 35. He runs 40. Nice move up to about the 43-yard line as he banged head that time with James Barron, 5'10 senior, who, by the way, is the reigning Creighton Optimist Club defensive back of the week. He had 11 tackles against Shaw.
Well, James Barron's a good football player, and there's a lot of people that think he's one of the better inside linebackers in the city this year.
2nd down and 2. Rattlers at their own 43, and again, no setback. 3 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left. Wide open offenses today. Eiler over the middle, dropped, incomplete. Trying to hit James Evans, who just got into the lineup on offense. He had been a defensive back, and they moved him to offense. Coming in with the play is Billy Taylor, wearing number 82.
Right. James Evans just simply tried to run an under route that time, tried to come under out of the trips formation, come under the defense, and he took his eye off the ball and dropped the ball. He tried to run before he caught it.
They're wearing green today, the Rattlers are. They're the home team, but trailing 14-0, 3rd and 2. Bo Eller will throw to the right, and nowhere is a receiver in the vicinity. In fact, the only player back there was Jonathan Fritz of Blount. He's lucky it wasn't picked off. It'll be 4th and 2.
Well, he tried to throw the same route that he had thrown the last time. He tried to throw it to James Evans again. They're getting in trips formation over there, Lee, and they're sending the 2 inside receivers straight down the field and sending James Evans, number 21, under them, and it's not open. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Call this a daring gamble early?
Well, I think it's something where they don't have anything to lose, Lee.
Or are they going to just try to maybe get Blount to jump off sides? Nope. Kennedy's in there now. He's going to throw the ball on 4th down, way downfield, intercepted by Casher, and that's as good as a punt.
Well, it's probably better than a punt, and really you don't ever tell your kid to drop a pass, but Cashier's made a good interception there.
Larry Casher, 3-year starter, and last year he had 7 interceptions, so you know he goes after the football, and he could have very well knocked it down. They would have had the ball up here in Leflore territory, but he intercepted, and now Blount will start out at their own 19.
Well, it's awfully hard to tell a young man that when he goes up like that just to knock one down, and that is the right thing to do, but it's hard to tell one to do that.
1:46 remaining still in the first quarter. 14-0 Blount. Aaron James wearing number 3, up the middle, big hole. Sherman Lee, 30, up to the 32. James Pizon, wearing number 25, made the tackle.
Well, they're in the Tennessee set that time. That means they had twins on one side, on the right side, and they had a single receiver over on the far side with 2 backs in the backfield, and that Leflore only had one linebacker in the middle, and the middle was wide open. They just ran a straight dive in there, and it picked up first down.
13-yard gain, Sherman Lee. They average about 27 points a game, the Blount offense. They're well armed with Aaron James. And up the middle they run this time, and pulling his way past the 35, number 30, Antoine Lott, as he gets up after his first carry. Antoine Lott picked up some good yardage up to the 38-yard line, second down. And about 5 yards to go.
They're really putting a lot of pressure on the inside linebacker for Leflore. Anytime they run the football at them like that, there's one man that's going to have to try to make the tackle. And oftentimes with a four-man front, you've got an uncovered lineman who's blocking that one single linebacker.
You're watching this game maybe on Saturday night. Remember, it'll also be shown on Port City 6 at 2:30 on Sunday. And now Aaron James will take a timeout with 42 seconds to go in the first quarter. With the score, Blount 14, Leflore nothing on the Comcast Cable Port City 6 game of the week. And we will continue in 30 seconds. Shavanian and Rick Cleveland at Pritchard Municipal Stadium off I-65, enjoying the Heritage Classic. And Rick, I don't think Ben Harris gets enough credit for teaching quarterbacks. He was a one-time quarterback. You just don't send these kids into battle and have them do what they do game after game. Aaron James has not missed a beat, with Kelvin Robinson graduating. On second down and 5, James back to pass, throws to the open left side. Casher there, incomplete. It bounced in front of him. One of the few times that Aaron James has come up short trying to hit number 14, Casher.
Well, and Aaron James knows that he made a mistake right there. The split end ran a quick slant that opened up the entire left side of the field, and he missed Cashier's out on the hash mark. That would have been a sure 6 because there wasn't a green jersey anywhere between here and I-65.
3rd and about 5 for Blount. They're at their own 38. They've had the ball twice in this quarter and scored both times. Now they'll load up the shotgun for Aaron James, and whiteouts all over the place, and James back, got time. He'll start to roll. Flags down, maybe against Blount. He'll go out of bounds at the 41-yard line, right in front of the Leflore bench. And this one maybe coming back against Blount. However, he didn't make the first down, so Leflore, if the penalty is against Blount, possibly could decline it and get the punt.
Well, I would think that they will take this as a hold, and it'll be 10, 15 yards back. So I think Leflore will take this penalty.
3rd down, as I said, and the run up to about the 41. They are talking with Tremaine Dowell. That is Lee Portis and Dowell. Seems to me we've had a lot of penalties here in the first quarter.
Well, we have. We've had a lot of penalties, and we're still, we got 29 seconds to go in the first quarter, and we've been playing. I don't have my watch with me. We've been playing quite a while, about 45 minutes.
Well over 30 minutes, which is about average for a high school first quarter, and even less. Of course, there's also been a lot of passing in this first quarter, a lot of wide open offense.
And that's what the people like to see, Lee. If you pay the price of a ticket, you sure like to see one of these kind of games, and they're getting their money's worth.
3rd down, and they took the penalty, so it's back to the 29-yard line, 3rd and long. James gonna go for it, and Marlon Reed back, intercepted. And that ball will be stopped at the 29-yard line because James Pizon put his knee down. And that was a good interception by Pizon, playing center field that time. He cut in front of Marlon Reed. The ball was going to be overthrown anyway, and Pizon coming up with it, and the Rattlers offense is back on the field.
Well, Leflore needs to try to get a couple of first downs, try to run the clock, try to get something on the board here to take the momentum away from Blount.
Aaron James with 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter, throwing his first interception and the first giveaway by the Blount Leopards.
I want to talk a little bit more after a while about Ben Harris and the quarterbacks, Lee. You made a good point there.
Bo Eller, Warren Eller at quarterback, wearing number 16. They'll run this ball, and running for short yardage off the 30-yard line is little Tommy Smith. He's only 5'5". He's a senior. Marco McNeil, 285, in on the tackle. And it looks like this will be the last play of the quarter. And I also want to talk about this Thomas Smith, who is quite a story at Leflore. The first quarter about ready to come to an end, and it does, with Blount leading Leflore 14-0 on the Comcast cable. Port City 6, game of the week. It will continue. We'll go into the second quarter right after this. It is 14-0 in favor of Blount. Leflore has the football on a 2nd down and 9. And little Thomas Smith, I say little because he's 5'5", 160-pounder, is wearing a knee brace. He was injured in the spring and has really come back and battled the odds to become a starter with this team. Last week he had 61 yards rushing and a touchdown. Thomas Smith is the lone setback now behind Warren Eller, the quarterback, on 2nd and 9. 2 wide outs to the left. They'll run Smith up the middle, tripped up crossing the 30 to about the 33-yard line. And Darnell Kennedy, the other quarterback, comes in now. Michael Wiley, a 5'9" senior, made the tackle.
Well, Leflore is taking that single back and trying to penetrate the defensive front of Blount. It's going to be awfully tough because that defensive front of Blount gets penetration on just about every snap.
Watching Eller and Kennedy rotate reminds me of when Dallas, the Cowboys, used to do Staubach and Craig Morton. You remember that? Way back. 3rd down and 8.
That's a
Rattlers. Rattlers need a big play here. Kennedy back. Kennedy rolling out. Throws short. Caught by Smith, 35, and he's going down. Darrell Williams. One thing about these Blount defenders, when they hit you, you go down. You don't break many tackles. This guy is classified as a big hitter, and we saw it there.
Well, and they work on that. That's the thing. If you go by and watch Blount practice, you watch them. They practice fundamentals, and they teach fundamentals, and they teach how to tackle, and they teach it the right way, just as Leflore does. And that's exactly what you want in a high school player. You want to teach them the fundamental way to tackle people.
Kennard Pugh and Larry Casher drop back. Evans, the punter, he averages 30 yards a kick. You were saying about Ben Harris and quarterbacks?
Well, Ben Harris was an outstanding quarterback himself, both for Coach Bill Jesse and also at Alabama State, and we'll talk a little bit about that as the game goes on.
Here is the punt. Gets it away under pressure. End over end, spiral, end over end, I should say. Hitting it about the 40 to the 39. Not very long with the kick that time. Down to the 38-yard line. About a 32-yard kick. And now the Leopards offense comes on the field. Yeah, Ben asked me if I wanted to challenge him to a throwing contest before the game. I said, Ben, you got to be kidding. He can toss it still about 80 yards. In fact, he said our good friend over at Fox, Lance Crawford, challenged him, but I'm not ready to do that.
No, you don't want any part of Ben Harris throwing the football, believe me. He still runs a scout team offense in practice every day.
1st down and 10. From his own 39, Aaron James will drop back on a delay. Gives it off to Kennard Pugh. Runs to the right, up the middle, 40-45. Look at this guy shift and go. And he's up to the 47-yard line. Ricky Wright, a 5'6" senior, made the tackle. Kennard Pugh, a tough little guy to bring down.
Well, he made some real good moves there. He kind of juked and jointed his way there and picked up about 5 extra yards on his own right there.
It'll be 2nd down and 3.
That's a little bit different sprint draw there. The running back was a little bit deeper than you'd ordinarily want you back there, and it took a little bit slower time to develop.
Rick, you may be able to work with the quarterbacks, teach them when to throw, who to throw to, work on the defense hitting hard, but can you teach that fancy footwork?
No, you sure can't, Lee.
2nd down and 2. There's the quarterback, 1st down over midfield into Rattlers territory. Number 3, Aaron James, getting enough for the 1st down. And tackled by Larry Harold, 6'2" senior, also doubles on the offensive line. Another Leopard 1st down.
Well, and we keep on expounding about it, Lee, but you see the quickness and you see the speed that both of these teams have, but especially Blount, and it's just almost impossible to defense a team with that kind of quickness and that kind of speed.
Of course, during the halftime, you'll witness the spectacular halftime show with Leflore and Blount's bands performing here at the first ever Heritage Classic, and this will continue. They better hurry. They only have 5 seconds, and I don't think they're going to get the play away. They will take their, I guess, their 2nd or 3rd timeout. Blount calls timeout, 9:15 to go, 2nd quarter, as they were sending in a player and they couldn't get ready. So we get a timeout here at Pritchard Municipal Stadium. Blount leading 14-0, and the Comcast Cable High School Football Game of the Week continues in 30 seconds. I don't know if our camera crew can get this, but Rick pointed this out. Everybody's supposed to pay here in the stadium, but I think somebody's getting a free look. Over on I-65, one of the state troopers out there. Kind of like at Wrigley Field, where the fans sit atop the apartment buildings.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir? All right, it's going to be first down and 10, and Aaron James throws over the middle wide open. 40, 35, Sherman Lee, the fullback, 25, 20. What a bulldozing run. Finally stopped on the play by Sherman Cooley, a 5'10 sophomore. Sherman Lee was wide open over the middle, and a king-size run. He broke some tackles. He's at the 20-yard line. I hope that state trooper, I got to get back to work after this. There you go. Hope he'll let me take a few advantages. He'll be looking the other way when I get on the highway.
Lee, I don't think you'd ever speed.
I don't. I just got to get back to work afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, it's first and 10. What a run by Sherman Lee.
That was an outstanding run.
If I start to say Sherman Williams, their other running back is Williams. Correct me, please. First down 10. Of course, Sherman Williams started his great career right here at Blount. James back to pass. He's throwing for the touchdown. He's going to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. Nope. He went out over the end line, but he did catch it. Marlon Reed, and he just couldn't keep the feet in bounds. Otherwise, another 6.
Well, we got a hold down here, Lee. We got an offensive holding.
I'll tell you what, though, I really like the accuracy of Aaron James on those long passes.
Well, Lee, he's able to throw it out there. These receivers have such good speed. He's able to lead them and throw it out there, and they're able to run right under. He's got a great arm, Lee. I don't mean a good arm. He's got a great arm.
Damian Craig, of course, Ben Harris, quarterback at Auburn. Kelvin Robinson, a junior college in Mississippi. Farley Love, who had a great arm also. He's in baseball. He's kind of dedicated his sports career to baseball, and a hard thrower he is. He once played for the Mobile Bay Sharks, but who knows what's going to happen with Aaron James.
Well, Lee, and what they do is Ben Harris, he coaches quarterbacks, and he does an excellent job of teaching them, and he leads by example and teaches them. And go ahead.
Was that ineligible receiver?
No. Must have been, yeah, it was. It was an ineligible receiver.
All right, it's going to be second down and 15. Back to pass. Aaron James swings the pass on the backfield to the right side. Incomplete. Tried to lead his running back, James Jones, that time. You know what? I've noticed this. He's actually, so far in this game, Aaron James throws a lot better his long passes than he does on his short passes.
Well, he does. But, Lee, that time, the reason that pass was an errant pass was because number 86, Tremaine Dowell, got his arms up, and he interfered with the vision of Aaron James that time.
Ben Harris perhaps could have gone to the pros, except for some bad knees, bad wheels up at Alabama State.
Well, the pros' loss is Mobile and Blount High School's gain, I can assure you of that.
All right, it's the second down play, and there's a swing pass in the backfield caught by Jones at the 20, hit at the 18, breaks the tackle, still on his feet, gets down to the 15-yard line. Number 28, really doing a great job after he caught the ball, and Ricky Wright brought him down. He's a senior, and he's also an honor student.
Well, the thing that's impressive about that run was after he caught the football, and even after he was hit twice, he kept moving those legs. And for all you youngsters out there, if you're a running back and you're hit, the thing you want to do is keep running and keep pumping those legs and cover that football up.
Play picked up 10. They need 5 for the first. They're third down at the Rattler 15, 7:50 remaining. Second quarter, 14-0 Blount. Out of the shotgun, Aaron James back to pass. Going to throw long over the middle. Caught, first down. Kennard Pugh down to the 2-yard line. Ricky Wright was there to stop him. Kennard Pugh, another fine receiver, 5'7 sophomore, who had a touchdown reception against Shaw, was wide open again.
Well, he ran the circle route, just went down about 7-8 yards, did a little circle, and Aaron James hit him right in the numbers, and he was able to pick up 3 or 4 yards after he caught his football.
I just hope, and you saw the state trooper up there on I-65, I hope he doesn't set a precedent, though. I don't think it'd be good to have all cars lined up out there, do you?
No, it wouldn't be good at all, Lee.
All right, on first down, they'll run to the right, and tackled is Leonis Williams, just short of the goal line, trying to get over there on the right side behind Carlos Bonner and Mike Thomas, the guard and tackle, thanks to Jake Wilson coming up to put the hit on him.
Well, Lee, Blount's has got a stable forward of running backs, and I wouldn't be surprised this time if you see Sherman Lee run the ball into the end zone.
It's going to be second down and less than 1 at the Rattler. Half-yard line, Aaron James up over the top, touchdown. He just took it himself, little leap up into the air, and that gives Blount another 6, and they lead by a score of 20-0.
Well, Aaron James is doing a little bit of everything tonight, Lee. Or today. Okay, it's not tonight, is it? He took it on his own, and that's the safest play you can run down there. There's no quarterback exchange with a running back. You don't have threat of a fumble.
That play comes at 6:51 of the second quarter. Antoine Hill will try the PAT. He missed his first attempt. They went for two and got it on the second touchdown. Now let's see if Hill can connect out of the hold of Aaron James. Ball down, and the kick is up, and it is no good. So the Heritage Classic will continue from Pritchard Municipal Stadium with Blount leading Leflore 20-0 with 6:51 to go in the second quarter. This is the Comcast Cable Game of the Week. We're back in 30 seconds. Devon Bryson kicking off. Want to thank Faulkner State Community College, Gary Finch Outdoors, some of our sponsors, also Qzar joining Comcast Cable. Ricky Wright's back. There's a fight for the ball. Wright takes it away from a teammate wearing number 19, 10-15, up to the 20, and down he goes. Ricky Wright running it back. He had been on offense. The last time that we saw Leflore, they moved him to defense. He's got two brothers on this team, does Ricky Wright.
Ricky's a good-looking young man. He's having to do a whole lot today trying to cover those receivers from Blount.
Rattlers have been alternating quarterbacks, Darnell Kennedy and Bo Eiler, and they have not really gotten any offense going yet. It's Eiler in there now. Coach Rayford Parker told me that he thinks Eiler's a little better runner than Kennedy and more of an option-type quarterback. Eiler running on the right, going to keep. Down he goes, ball squirts loose, fumble, but the quarterback was down. And that will be a 2nd and 10 as Devon Bryson on the hit.
And Lee, that was a vicious hit right there as we see Robert Malone getting up with the football trying to tell the official, it's mine, it's mine.
And right next to him was Quentin Malone, but the Malones are not related.
Well, they're two big old fine-looking youngsters, and they're bookends on that defensive line, Lee. And, you know, you got to decide which way you want to go, either left or right. Either way you go, you got a Malone left and a Malone right.
And also let me point out that 7 of these defensive players were full-time starters last year. Most of their defense back from a year ago. 2nd and 10 for Leflore. Darnell Kennedy back in at quarterback, working the eye. Toss sweep left. And caught is McCune. We haven't seen him run much today. Robert McCune dropped for about a 2-yard loss. Jason Aldrich coming in with Jared Ellis.
Lee, the two tackles, what we call the 2-3 techniques in this defense, and it's a very similar defense to what Viger runs. But you look at Mike Wiley, number 44, and then you look at Marco McNeil. Both of these young men playing that 3 technique, and I'm going to tell you right now, those two gentlemen, they get after it. You watch the way they pursue down the line of scrimmage. If you folks at home get a chance to watch that.
You just saw Smith and McCune, their 2 running backs, come out, so they're just going to flood the secondary. They got 3 wideouts to the right and 2 to the left. Kennedy dropping back. Kennedy throws over the middle, nothing doing. Nobody there because the wideout ran into a defensive player. James Evans actually ran into Darrell Williams and went down. No flag.
That was awfully close to pass interference right there, Lee. I really thought that Darrell Williams interfered with him, but the officials didn't see it that way. And they're always right. They're always right because you can't change that call. And they do an excellent job. You know, Lee, that's something I want to expound on. Of all the games we've seen this year, the officiating has been superb. It's been absolutely superb. The training that these men go through and the leadership that is possessed in this Mobile Football Officials Association is excellent.
Evans drops back to punt at his own 5. Casher and Pugh to receive. High snap, gets it away. Low line drive. Comes out to midfield. And Blount will let it roll down to the 48-yard line. Does not take much of a roll, and I wonder if that's because the grass is so high.
Well, it is a little bit high here. And I saw in the paper where they're going to try to make some improvements to Pritchard Stadium. And I'm sure one of the first things that they'll improve on will be the turf here.
Somebody could pick up a, I guess, what does it go for cutting lawns today, $20?
It's not as much as throwing papers, Lee.
Tell you what, some of these people do charge quite a bit, but somebody could get a job here cutting the grass.
I know a guy that could do that. Who's that guy that coaches third base for the Jags over at Saints? What's his name?
Ron Pelletier.
Ron Pelletier. He does a great job doing grass. And I guarantee you he'd have it looking sharp.
Blount's ball, they lead 20-0. James at quarterback has thrown for 2 and run for 1. Out of the eye, oops. Looks like Leflore went off sides. They've had a habit of doing that today. Corey Colley a little over anxious. Lee Portis, the referee, wearing the white hat. Don't forget to stay tuned for our halftime show. You'll see the bands, Leflore and Blount.
Lee, I'm not sure. I think I was wrong here. I think that was old Larry Harrell that jumped off sides that time. They got two big old tackles in there, and I think Larry was the one that jumped off sides there. That's my fault. I'm sorry.
5-yard penalty against the Rattlers. You're entitled to one, Rick, but just one. First down and 5. Here's Blount. James off to Williams, caught at the 45 and lunges to the 44. Larry Harrell was there to stop him, so he picked up about 2 yards on the carry. It's going to be second down and 3 for the Blount Leopards.
Well, they just ran out of the eye that time, just ran the inside lead there and picked up, 3-4 yards, brings up a second. No, they didn't. They picked up 7 yards, brings up 2. Okay. Second down, it just should be 3rd and 2, shouldn't it? Lee? 3rd and 3.
You got to catch up to me, the penalty.
That's right.
The 5-yard penalty.
That's right.
Second and 3, fullback or tailback Williams straight ahead. That was not Williams, that was Jones, James Jones, who sneaks his way down to about the 40-yard line, and he may have the first down, and I think he does. Depends where his knee came to rest. Very, very close, but he got